time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jakub.
What do you call it? Like if you take a big gulp of water. What's your go-to word for like gulp?
Guzzle. Man, I love a good guzzle, man. You talking about actually guzzle, I don't know. It's guzzle's kind of like
chugging.
It's guzzle to me is lighter. Like you're
Than chugging?
Yeah, you're gonna guzzle down some soda, some soda pop, right? Because it's I don't know, it's got a lighter connotation. Like because when you're guzzling, it's like you're slowly
guzzling is just like taking it all in. Don't isolate that.
Yeah, I mean but when I think of guzzling, it's very I know it's very almost soft or more sensual in a sense.
Okay, so what do you call when you're just
chugging?
Like,
chugging, I feel like is like the hardest.
No, when you just want to take a drink. When you take a drink,
a swig, yeah. A swig is like yeah. You're gonna grab a little, and then you're done.
More than a sip, but
yeah.
Like if you're drinking
out
like
of
what you
do, like if you're like
coffee.
Yeah, if you're drinking a sip of coffee,
you don't
like your friends like here, take it, like try this, and you're like, okay, let me have a sip, like, let me give it a shot,
Yeah, like a shot, swig, yeah, I guess. But I feel like swig is very Southern in origin.
Yeah, I guess it could.
I feel like if you go up north, like no one's gonna say swig. Like y'all man, give me a swig of that milk. Like
yeah,
it's not. It's the whole soda pop.
So you gotta buy that before you take a swig of it. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna take a swig of it in the store, buddy. Don't even worry about it. I'll put it back on the shelf. Okay, don't worry about it.
Imagine if you had one of those like whistles when you had said the S word, a swig and a swig.
Yeah, like I can't even do it. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it happens.
It reminds me of that Always Sunny episode where they have the wooden teeth.
Yeah. Oh my God, that episode's so good. I wonder how they did that because it's like you got to practice to get that whistle in there when you're speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's easier to do with like wooden teeth. I think they had like fake props.
Maybe it's easier to do if you're like a trained actor.
Yeah. Like something, like how to act and whatnot. It's gotta be crazy. Oh man.
Imagine.
Speaking of acting, we were talking about it earlier. I had a random dream, right? It was a nice dream. It was a sensuous dream,
Did you get a little fellatio?
Get a little fellatio in my dream. And it was like, it's nice, right? It's cool, whatever. But it got me to think. It's like, have you ever had the proverbial wet dream before?
No.
Okay.
Not like maybe when I was like going through puberty.
Okay.
Like maybe, but here I take a shower in the morning. I have mine like since I've been old enough to get myself ready for school.
Yeah.
Right? I wake up, I take a shower, and go to the bus or whatever it was. And I'm also like notably hot natured. So
you're sleeping naked.
I do. Well, I think back then I would just sleep in boxers or whatever, but I'm hot. Like I'm hot. Like I sweat in my sleep. And so I feel like if I did, I thought it was sweat.
Probably.
But like I've never had one of those, and like maybe I'm weird. I've just never had one of those.
Like the proverbial, like like you were always taught as a kid, like, oh yeah, one day you're gonna wake up, you're gonna be soaked in cum, dude. You're gonna have so much cum rolling, it's gonna be like you're swimming in it, and it's like. I don't know. Maybe it's from like my kid brain warping it, but I feel like that was more of a prevalent thing. Like they were talking, like it's coming. Whenever you hit puberty,
like quicksand,
having wet dreams. Like like quicksand. Exactly. Like who's running into quicksand is what I want to know. And actually, quicksand's kind of terrifying. But I'm glad that I've never
seen quicksand.
No, and I don't think I ever will in my lifetime because I don't go around quicksand. I don't even know where to find it. Like
a bog.
I don't know. The desert. I would assume. How many times have I been to the desert? Yeah. So
have you ever seen a bog in real life?
I've been to Florida like once at least. So
hey, we'll change that soon.
Yeah, dude, we need to go. That's what we need to do on our trip down to Florida.
We're not saying we're not speaking stuff into the ethosphere.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to go see a bog. I kind of want to go see a bog just to like.
I don't want to see anything. We're not going anywhere.
I want to make it very clear though to the universe. I want to see a bog from far away where there's no danger of me falling into said bog. Okay, universe. I just want you to hear that real quick. That is Jesus
I don't
Christ.
want. I have no desire to like go to the Everglades. Do you?
No, but there was one account that I followed on TikTok back when I was on TikTok. His name is Fishing Garrett, and I'm gonna put a little pop up because I really dig his content. But he's like always in the
He's
Florida
probably some
Everglades.
super far right wing like grifter
Everybody's a
now.
grifter now, but I mean, no, for the most part, like his was all about like animal conservation, and he like taught you about like he didn't teach you about animals so much as he caught them and explained to them like what they are. But he would like just
I've
go
seen.
around barefoot in the Florida Everglades, just like catching random snakes, crocodiles. He's taunting
There's a
crocodiles all the
guy.
time.
There's a guy from Australia who's like that, and like, what's that super dangerous blue octopus?
Oh shit, dude! Now you say it, I can't
It's like
remember. Like there's a man of
extremely
war.
poisonous. No,
There's a
no, no. It's like
oh,
a tiny blue octopus. It's extremely
I don't know the
poisonous.
name of it, but I know exactly what you're
Like it
talking about.
can,
Because
like
one
it, like it,
idiot put
like
it in
it
his
would.
hand. He was like, "Look at this," and then he was in the hospital. Like, in the next shot, like it's
Well,
probably
I don't know
him.
if
I don't know.
it might have been him, but this guy was just like, "Oh, look at this little guy," you know, and
Yeah,
it's just
it's like, yeah. How about we
and
don't
it like
fuck with
squirted
him?
water at him, and he was just like, "Whoa, look at him!"
Yeah, I think
And
I
like,
and I admire the confidence that they have, but I wouldn't have it. Like, no,
because
thank
like
you.
Steve Irwin was like a fucking rad dude. Like we all like looked at that guy, and he was just like, "Yo, like this dude's awesome." And so like it was an absolute tragedy that like what happened to him, and like that was good, wholesome, fun content. Like where you were learning, you know, this Animal Planet when you were learning shit.
Yeah,
And
man.
obviously, I mean, maybe there's still stuff on there. I've not watched Animal Planet in 20
I
years.
haven't had cable
Um,
in 20 years, so
yeah, I think the closest thing to Animal Planet esque was like Planet Earth. Like I watched Planet Earth on Blu-ray because like when Blu-rays first came out and that came out, it was just like, bro, you gotta have a
yeah.
5.1 surround sound on your Blu-ray, bro. And Planet Earth, oh, you gotta have a 42-inch TV, bro. Oh, you gotta
No, I
take
could
a
imagine like
tech,
if you could, yeah, if you took
and then
like
you
an
just be like,
edible and
oh,
watched
dude,
Planet
it's
Earth, I'm sure
so
it's great.
small, bro. Yeah, right,
Like I enjoyed Planet Earth sober, but I can't imagine like taking an
right,
edible or smoking a bowl or something like that and doing it. That'd be crazy, I feel like.
yeah,
But yeah, Steve Irwin, man, that was like truly. I think that if you could go back in history and kind of like tie everything to like one focal point in history where like the path diverted. You know, we said we changed course somehow. It was when Steve
yeah.
Irwin got KO'd by a stingray, and it's like honestly like if anybody gets KO'd by a stingray, you would think that like the last person on that list would be Steve Irwin, but.
Yeah,
Goddamn, that was like that's such a tragedy, man. I love that his son
because
is finally coming into his own. I don't know, I haven't checked up
and his
on him.
daughter Mindy.
She's cool too, I think. But like he's
Yeah.
just from everything that we know about him, and maybe that's one of those things where it's like a blessing in disguise. Like maybe if he had like continued to live on, he would have had like a Robin Williams situation, or like Jimmy Savile situation where like he dies and like there's a bunch of demons in his closet or some shit, and like he's but
Well, Robin
uh,
Williams didn't have any demons. He's
he
just depression.
he didn't have any demons, but like from what I understand, like I heard something
A lot of mental
recently.
health problems.
Yeah, I heard something recently. He had like a really bad bout of depression to the point like where he was like hallucinating and like seeing shit, and like he was constantly telling himself like he was, and it was like not good, and it was like what he was going
Oh my
through.
God, what is it? It's called something Dewey syndrome.
Yeah, where it's like it's mental. It's a
Body
depression.
Dewey, something like that.
It's a depression that's like so bad, you basically start creating these versions of yourself that
Uh,
then become real and start talking almost like schizophrenia in a sense where
Christina's grandma had that.
yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. It's like not good,
She
and
was
I feel
seeing
so
people and
bad.
shit.
Yeah, I feel so bad because it's like to go through that as like this
Yeah, your
American
brain is just
icon, and like
yeah.
you're supposed to be the happiest man on the planet, like you're the funniest guy on the planet, and like people don't understand like tragedy you're going through. I don't know why it sounds like my voice is so cracky. I wasn't like obsessed with Robin Williams. I was just like, this is tragedy. I'm not gonna break out in tears or whatever. But
Uh,
it's sad, man.
but the whole like to like bring it back around to that though is like there's not any like even Mr. Beast. I mean, you know, people are like, oh, he's a fraud. He's doing this thing, whatever. And it's just like, I just don't think you're talking about the guy from Florida.
Yeah,
Like, is there anyone, are there any people left that are just genuinely good people that are using their platform for a like for good? Everyone else is just like a grifter and like doing things to get more subs, to get more followers. Like they're just like no one's authentic.
yeah, it
And I
doesn't.
think that's always been my problem with streamers. It's like they're all trying to play a character and they're really bad at the character they're playing.
Yeah, and it definitely can. It can feel that way. I think with now with how corporate everything is nowadays, everybody's trying to get that bag.
Trying to get the
Understandable.
sponsorship
It's trying to
and
get the
like
sponsorship. As far as like, I mean, if you look at it, like Betty White's dead. Like she would be one of those. Like, you've got the only one that it comes to mind, I guess, is because I haven't really heard anything negative about her, except for the fact that she flies a private jet around everywhere, and it's kind of like really shitty for the environment. Is Taylor Swift, and I don't think that she really needs promotions or because she has more money than God at this point. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
dude, but there's a giant divide.
I like her, and I don't
I
think
like
that she's done anything bad yet, at least.
but
So
I'm more so talking about someone who has zero detractors. People who like there's never someone who's like 100 bats 100, but like was there anyone who
Johnny Irwin. I don't know what his real name is. It's Steve's son.
Steve Irwin?
Steve's
Oh,
son.
but like, is there anyone
Uh,
left where the general populace is like, yeah, that's a good person? I mean, we know we
said
say
Keanu Reeves like
but I
last
mean,
episode
I'm
ago.
talking more like not non-movie star,
Just a dude,
like inner like
or
someone
a chick, I
who's
guess.
just someone that's notorious. But I guess like sort of again, the landscape has changed where like when we were growing up and stuff, you had People magazine where you like idolize these people, and like we've sort of with the internet, and like we've said this before, and like the constant feed of stuff and being able to uh always have sort of a pulse on like what someone is doing.
Mm-hmm.
You like the allure of people is not of like celebrities is not there, and then like they do all, and they're constantly just making dumb choices, and like they're under a microscope more as opposed to like, oh, so and so was seen by the paparazzi, and it's just like, who gives a shit,
And
right?
I
Like,
definitely
oh my,
think that,
you know what I mean?
I feel like I get what you're throwing down, where it does feel that nowadays, especially, it's harder to have such idols because you're just basically waiting for something to come out or waiting for the next thing to come. Like, it's like you fall in love with, X person, and they end up being a really cool person, but then 2 days down the road after falling in love with them, you find out like, oh yeah, well, they like to kick gerbils really hard into the wall, and like that's not cool, and it's
They like to eat cats and dogs and stuff.
yeah, man. And I can't, now that you say it, like I feel like, the audience is going to have to come in on this one, guys. Comment down below, like and subscribe.
Well,
Comment down
because
below. Tell me who is good. Tell me who's good. Somebody.
because it's always one of those situations where someone's gonna say person A, and then immediately someone's like, no, that dude's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're always gonna have that, and it's the same thing.
Keanu Reeves.
It's the same thing
you can't say anything negative about him.
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that hates Keanu Reeves, right? But it's the same thing where someone will try to like have an open discussion, and they'll be like, which do you prefer, A or B? And it's almost, there's like the first answer is, well, why not C? It's always that.
Yeah.
It's just always somebody has to be a contrarian, if you will, or go against what is expected of the conversation, I guess. But speaking of tragedy, today is September 11th.
Dude.
And for America, weirdly enough, I didn't see a lot of posts today. Almost always there's just like,
ironically, I didn't see any posts today.
Right. I wasn't really on social media all that much today, but 20, my math is right, 23 years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's 2001. September 11th,
Yes.
2001. So that would be
everyone
23
knows
years ago.
There's a couple of things that are mind blowing to me. A, that was 23 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Like, I can vividly remember everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, that there are people in like high school that were born after that day.
And not just that, like there are kids in school now that don't know that what happened. Like, it's going to end up being like the Holocaust, where you're going to have people who don't believe in it anymore and be like, that's just a fake story made up by the media to
right.
keep us down or whatever. I don't know.
A little I see what you're saying, but it's a little different considering like there's so much footage of that where there was not so much footage in the 40s.
Yeah, and they had that on repeat, dude. That's like insane to me, too. Like we watched all of us.
That's the thing.
All of us watched
that was my
thousands
third
of people
point.
die like on TV. Like,
it was just a like constant.
Yeah.
Right. So you were in 5th grade.
I wasn't even in school that day. I don't know what happened. I think that like
So you skipped school.
I want to say that our family always took vacations later in the year, and it was like
that's also very
before-
weird to me. Like, you think you're better than everybody else, you take it when you're in school.
okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was cheaper. One. Second, it was there wasn't as many people there. So like we would go down to Myrtle Beach like in September.
I get it, but like, do you just think that you're like above the law?
Yeah. Fuck school, dude. Fuck it. You know. But no, the whole point is like I think that it was before we had fall break, because we didn't have fall break back in our day. We didn't get 4 times off from school a year. But we were
The first time I ever had fall break was when I was in college.
Yeah, I remember me and my dad had got up early to go get like some lattes that morning because we were like down on the strip, and we got back into the hotel room, and like there like my my brother, his wife, and my mom were all crowded around a TV, and they were talking about like
So you were little then.
yeah. I mean, I was like
5th grade.
I was in 6th grade.
You couldn't have been. I was in 7th grade.
I was in 6th grade.
You are 2 years behind me.
No, no, because I was definitely remember going back to middle school, and I was down.
When did you graduate?
In 2009.
You were in 5th grade,
buddy. I remember
buddy.
seeing the footage.
I was in 7th grade.
I remember seeing the footage later on.
Did you get held back a year?
No, I don't think so. I started.
You
school.
were in 5th grade.
I think I started school when I was older.
You're not listening to me. If you graduated 2 years after me, that means I'm 2 years ahead of you. I was in 7th grade. Therefore, you were in 5th grade. That is how the math works.
Memories, man.
That is how it works. I'm telling you, I am 1,000% positive on this.
I'll say you're probably right.
I was in algebra class in 7th grade with Mr. Gregory.
I was in 7th grade.
And we had
Mr. Gregory.
we had TVs in the corner.
Yeah.
Like we still had the TVs that you would wheel in sometimes, but the TVs had the clock on it. They were a digital clock, so you know what time it was. And then they switched it over. They made the announcement, and then put a live feed of some news thing.
Yeah, dude.
And but here's the we stayed in school.
Yeah. You guys were was this in Virginia? Were you in Virginia at this point?
No, I was
okay, because I was about to say, like, if you were still in school in Virginia and there was a terrorist attack going on, like literally like a couple miles down the road.
Very aware of because like that happened, and then we did is we would continue. We still went to school, right? We still went to all of our classes. The bell rang. We went to lunch. We did. I don't think we went to lunch. I think we ate lunch in the classroom, but like we just went through the motions of the day. But all we did was just watch the TV for the entirety of the day.
Just.
And
God,
and then it's
there's
like
no way that had any impact on our psyche whatsoever. Like as kids
over
watching this
over, and then it was when the Pentagon thing was hit. I was like I need to call. I've got I'm.
That's the thing.
Born and raised in Northern Virginia. I need to call somebody. I need to see if like my family's dead because at that time I still had a relationship with my mother, and she worked 5 minutes from the Pentagon, and later told me that she felt the building shake when the plane went over.
That's crazy.
She didn't know what was happening at the time.
Holy shit,
but
man.
She was able to piece it all together that like went over her building.
Like
that's great.
I think that like our kid brains obviously didn't grasp the full like how big of a panic this probably should have been and or was at the time, because like you got to think I guess we're not really doing anything in 2001, are we? Like as far as like wars go, there's not really any war going on.
Yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like so it's like I guess maybe that's why it didn't cause as much of a panic, because we were just kind of like hanging out. There was no like this sense of like, oh, we're about to go to war with like Russia and China and whatever. But it's like to think about like you're sitting there, the World Trade Center gets hit, right? The Twin Towers. Is that what they're called? World Trade Center? Is that they were collectively called the World Trade Center? That's weird. There's 2 buildings, first of all.
The World Trade Center is 2. Yeah, it's 2 buildings.
Okay.
Well, it's actually 5. It's 5 buildings, but
what happened to the other 3? That's what I want to know. You know. But anywho, so
well,
you're
they weren't
there.
the towers though. They weren't the big towers. There was 2 towers.
One of the towers gets hit. Right, everybody's
23-year-old story.
That's why we can't remember anything. I don't know. I didn't care about as much over the last 21 years. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm not American. I'm not patriotic. But you're sitting there. The tower gets hit, right? and everybody's panicking. And then, like, was it the second plane that hit? The second plane hit. No.
We watched it in real time. Yeah. So the first one was hit. There was no video.
I remember.
And then it was the second one that we watched happen in real time.
That's like, I remember vividly everybody watching the news feed, and like you see the faces drop when that second plane comes into frame, and like that gives me goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now. But like when you see the surrealness of like the live feed and you see the second plane like it hit the tower, you're like, holy fuck. That's when I think if I was an adult, like if this happens today, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, oh shit, we're fucked. We're so screwed. We're going to war right now. They're coming to our shores. I'm freaking out. I'm grabbing my family. We're going north. We're going to Canada, baby. But that's like a crazy event, and this the surrealness of like seeing it happen live on TV. I'm sure it didn't affect any of us, but and then on top of that, you start hearing about a third plane that just slammed into the side of a Pentagon, like.
And then there's the one in Pennsylvania.
And the one that, like, the flight that fought back, which is like, hey, kudos to those guys. Good job, guys. You probably saved some other tragedy, but also it was a tragedy because they didn't survive either, I don't think.
You probably don't remember Columbine, right?
I think
you
it had been
would have been 98.
I would have been 8 years old. I don't even, yeah, dude. I don't. That's like shit, dude. Like, this is like a tragic episode, but yeah,
You're
man,
like
I don't remember.
second grade. Do you remember Columbia, the space shuttle Columbia, when it was coming back in orbit and it fucking exploded live on TV? In 2003,
no.
2 years after that.
I didn't have cable. I think I don't even.
I was at
like
a friend's house.
Television. I don't know.
I was at a friend's house, CJ, and we were playing PlayStation 2, and then like it was one of those things like, let's turn it over to see whatever, and then you just fucking watch this space shuttle explode. I'm pretty sure, right? Like it was.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one.
It was re-entering the atmosphere.
There's a conspiracy theory that they actually didn't die in the space shuttle land. The conspiracy theory revolves around like some debris you see flying off of the ship before the explosion happens, and they claim that like they were picked up by NASA and they had information that they couldn't reveal to the public. It's a dumb conspiracy theory because of course it's like anytime that there's vague facts about what happened, people are going to insert conspiracy theory here. But yeah, dude, I started to realize that like I just didn't give a shit about anything as a kid. Like I just didn't. I didn't give a shit now. I don't have the mental capacity to give a shit. I think is what. I think
you have a real big like block.
I think that this is something that therapy needs to figure out for sure. I would assume that like if I was to go to therapy tomorrow, there would be like a floodgate of shit that I'm trying to like hold back, where like it'd all just come rushing back and it'd be like a mess. But
I mean, you're allowed to do and give a shit about the things that you want. Like you're an adult male. You can, if you don't give a shit about something, you don't give a shit about something. Like
I'm also, I think it was like 12 or 10. I was 10 at the time that this happened. So it's like, I don't get,
what?
When the space shuttle exploded, I was 11 when. Wait, no, 90, 2001. Yeah, I was 11 when the Twin Towers were hit. Okay, like I'm 11 years old. I don't really, the big towers go down. Oh no, like I it's very easy for 13. Me to disassociate and not think about the fact that like there's like I don't know what was.
So you started So you started school. You should have started school the year after me.
I was born late. My birthday was in October.
So you were an old person in the grade you were in. So you right?
Yeah, I was like 16, getting my
because you were about to be a year younger than me. You're currently 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
It's always throwing me off because I'm like, I'm not that much older than you.
Yeah, I'm 35.
But I'm 2 years. No, you're not. You're 33. But then I'm 2 years ahead of you because I graduated when I was 17, which is always just weird. My daughter will too. And it's just like, I don't know, it's weird. Nice mask, by the way.
Thanks, man. That was my airsoft mask back in the day. It's not a Punisher mask. This is like an Army of Two mask that I had for
It very much is an Army of Two.
Yeah, I got.
Did you play Army of Two?
Oh yeah, I played the first one. I really dug it. Me and my brother tried to play it, but we just couldn't. I was uncoordinated playing video games as a kid, so I just didn't.
Still are.
I mean, yeah, but I just didn't care.
I just didn't care. Here you go. There it is. I mean, like, I just didn't care.
I just think about my childhood so much, where it's like all these video games that I played as a kid, and it's like I don't think I ever understood a single game that I played, because like I just even WoW. I still suck at WoW. I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but
You would think you would get better with your medicine, though.
yeah. Well, so I've been reading up on it, and it's like the analogy I like that he used. It's like he used the glasses analogy, right? When you get glasses, it doesn't make you smarter, right? It just allows you to use your eyes. Whereas like the medicine doesn't make me smarter. It just
Do people
allows me.
think that glasses make you smarter?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like that's the thing. Is like you associate like
Oh, that's just like the
smart people.
perception.
Yeah, because they wear glasses. Like, oh, they're super smart. Like, no, they can just actually read now because they have to like squint or like they can actually see the words. But I mean, I'm working on it. So
For now.
we'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah. Well, apparently, there's a
Anyways,
whole like.
September 11th.
Yeah.
R.I.P. all those people. That sucks. Apparently, more firefighters have died now from the toxins they were exposed to, and on the ground. What's that area called? At 9/11?
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero. They've more firefighters have died now than died at 9/11 that were exposed to the toxin on that day. So please give these guys the money, please, because they need it. They have a lot of health issues, but that's my Jon Stewart moment. I'm fighting for those firefighters. So.
Do you know what a malaphor is?
It sounds like a word you made up.
Malaphor.
Phor. Yeah, that's a malaphor. Yeah, man. It sounds to me closely related to like a malformity. So.
Okay. But a malformity of what?
Words? No, a metaphor.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Okay, metaphor. It's a bad. Is it a bad metaphor? Is it like a? Is it like a bad?
You're in the ballpark where you've
man,
not hit it yet.
Okay, mal means bad for sure. I don't know what that means. I just know that metaphor is like I don't even know what fucking metaphor means, dude. I know what it is. I can explain to you. Like I can give you a metaphor for sure. Like a metaphor would be me trying to explain this word to you. Actually, I don't think I know what a metaphor is either. I'm fucking stupid, man. I'm so dumb. Why am I here?
Okay, so a malaphor is the unintentional combination of two idioms or cliches, as in, instead people will say, "Oh, that's just the tip of the iceberg." Instead, you would say, "Oh, that's just the tip of the lettuce," or you combine water under the bridge to water over the dam, so that's water over the dam, sort of thing. A bird in the hand is always greener on the other side of the bush.
Okay, so it's like when you're trying to make those funny sayings,
You
but then
are
you fuck it up.
Whether it's intentional or unintentional, you screw up a common phrase.
I do that sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. On purpose, mostly. But
so, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And you combine that with even a blind squirrel will find a nut, right? So even a blind squirrel is right twice a day.
Okay.
So that's the actual like English definition of what that is.
Okay.
I have become obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And
that's
just
how mine would be like, that's how the cookie comes for sure. Like, I guess, I don't know. There's no sayings that revolve around cum, but
grab a bull by the balls instead of grab a bull by the horns.
Okay. Yeah. See, I like it.
The final nail in the camel's back instead of final nail in the coffin, that sort of thing. But inevitably, if you do it to someone, almost guaranteed that someone will correct you.
Damn.
As if you did it on accident.
Yeah, like, as if you're stupid. They're like,
especially if you do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So like, for anyone who's interested, like, sort of implement it into your everyday routine of conversation and see how many times see how many times, because it's innocent chaos, right?
Yeah.
See how many times someone corrects you as if like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we need to start incorporating that into like our episodes, like ways to create mini chaos. Mine would be for today would be everywhere you go and you have a conversation. Anytime you have a conversation with a person in the day, always just ask, "Can you hear that?" And then like never elaborate on it whatsoever. Like if they're like, "What do you mean? What do you hear?" Like, I don't know, and just like continue on with conversation.
When a life gives you molehills, you make mountains.
That sounds close to the actual saying. I feel like when life gives
Make
you, I guess
mountains
like
out of
when life,
molehills.
yeah, and like when life gives you lemons. I like this. Man, I gotta create some
Uh,
of these. These are fun.
barely enough room to swing with the cat dragged in.
Like, yeah,
That's
you do it
shoot.
enough, and I feel like that would drive somebody insane. Like, I just like because at some point they gotta be like, okay, I feel like you got your sayings
Um,
wrong.
yeah, don't count your blessings before they hatch. Don't count your eggs.
Yeah,
Don't count.
I like that.
Shooting a gift horse in the mouth. I like
Okay,
that one.
that one's like I feel like is the actual saying. Like,
Is it?
don't shoot a gift
No, it's
horse. No, it's
don't
like
shoot yourself in the
don't
foot
yeah,
and
don't look at a
looking at
gift
gift
horse
horse.
in the mouth. Yeah,
Yeah. It takes a village to raise an idiot.
I'm living proof right here, baby. Oh man,
It's not about the money. It's about sending a message to friends we meet along the way.
that sounds threatening. That sounds like
Some of these are so good.
that sounds pretty threatening, actually.
It's like a rat caught in a well-oiled machine.
Oh, dude, yeah,
That's a good one.
that's a really good one. I like that.
That's me, baby. Everybody and their kitchen sink. Uh, better late than at your first rodeo.
Yeah, that's my first experience right there.
If you just like use so many of these and like learn those instead of the actual sayings,
Just turn the actual sayings into the malaphors.
into
man.
those,
Yeah.
and like, I mean, unhinged. You can become so unhinged in
I
a
just
social setting.
You can lead a horse to the river, but you can't make him fish. You can't teach him to fish. Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
there
getting
you
it
go.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, just imagine you're at a barbecue. I don't know. Do people still do that?
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure.
bonfire is what I was trying to think of.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
I remember in college that was the thing to do on the weekend. Of course, where I went to college was not a very big bustling city. People we called it a suitcase college. People either went back where we live or they went to Nashville, and like not very many people were there on the weekends. It was a lot of people commuted, and if you did stay, people would have bonfires, and like you would just go hang out and do the thing, right? It wasn't the best thing in the world because like everyone's just getting fucking blistered drunk, which is even crazier because the county in which I went to school was a dry county until my final year there. You had to go out of county to get all your booze. Also like in the year 2011, there's like places like there's an entire county where you can't buy alcohol. It's just mind blowing shit.
Well,
Like,
it's just
what
like
is this?
even if like
1920s?
you can't like I don't understand. Like that people are just gonna go to the county over, get it, and bring it back. So like really
Right.
like having a dry county doesn't do shit. They're still gonna find alcohol.
Well, there's a lot of church money there, and churches are entirely way too powerful.
Yeah, let's get them out of here, dude. Start making them pay taxes.
All
Tax
for
the
one and
churches.
once and for all. There's another one.
I love that one. That one's good.
We'll deal with that cross when it comes to bear it.
Hey, I'll come when I bear it. That's for sure.
Don't cry about spilled tea. That's a shout out to Jim.
Yeah, buddy, quit crying over the
Amy.
spilled tea. You guys gotta get over this whole tea thing, okay? Actually, I don't think that Jim likes tea. I think we've said that before.
Yeah, you've dug your own grave. Now sleep in it. That's a hard line.
These are very threatening.
That is a bar. You
What?
fucking say that like just
Say it
imagine
again? I
like
can't remember. I'm so silly.
so you've dug your own grave. Now sleep in it.
That
Just
is a bar,
imagine
actually,
like a
metal song.
an-
That's in a metal song for somewhere, I'm sure.
yeah. There's that, but like I just envision like John Wick's fucking killed somebody and like he finally gets to the bad guy. The bad guy's run out of henchmen and he's like, now you dug your own grave. Sleep in it.
Yeah, after they made him dig his own grave, and now he makes the person sleep in the grave that he had to dig for himself.
Yeah, that's
I may have complicated it, but yeah, it makes sense.
It's okay. We haven't even begun to scratch the tip of the iceberg.
R.I.P. the Titanic, So,
Even throwing the broken baby out is right twice a day.
God damn, that's like, sheesh, brother.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Skinning the cat before the horse. So pulling the cart before the horse, more than one way to skin a cat. Like Moses parting the baby with bathwater.
God damn, dude. Fuck, man, Moses is brutal, dude.
I'm hung like Einstein and smart as a horse.
That's me right there. That is me to a T, baby. Because you gotta admit, I think that. Oh, how big do you think Einstein was? Huh? I heard he was kind of crazy actually. So I don't know. He was kind of like wild. He was wild.
Are you thinking of Ben Franklin or Einstein?
No, I'm thinking of Einstein because he was wild.
Ben Franklin was too. He was a womanizer.
Am I not mistaken? Was Einstein like, he was from Germany, right?
Yeah.
Did he have like,
I don't know.
certain ties to certain affiliations?
I don't know. Ask Frederick.
I want to argue. Yeah, I need to get back on because
But he was around during the atomic bomb.
Yeah, dude had like he's
Isn't
definitely
he
not
in
as old as I
Oppenheimer?
used to think.
I've not seen Oppenheimer yet.
I haven't either, man. I haven't. And
I do
your
not
boy,
have
your boy
three.
Cillian Murphy's in it too. So
Yes. Yeah, but he's my boy in a different show.
and my boy Depp Jr.'s in there. So I need to check it out.
I don't have 3.5 hours to watch a movie.
That we already know the conclusion to. Like that's my thing. It's like when they were making it, it's like, hey guys, I get it, but we already we already know what happens. Okay, it's like I don't feel like we need a movie on this because
Yeah,
like,
but it's history.
yeah, but also I feel like it's kind of insensitive to like, I don't know, nuke a whole country and then make a movie about how we nuked him and how it was like so rad, Like, come on, guys, it's a little insensitive.
You hit the nail right between the eyes. You can beat 2 dead gift horses with 1 stone, but don't look 2 birds with 1 feather that flock together in the mouth.
That's too much. That's too much of one. That's like you say that and you're asked to leave. You got to get out of here.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like
that's too much.
Just you like really get into character, and you're sitting in one of your meetings, right? You're on a Zoom call, and they call upon you, and like someone does something, and like just randomly say something like so chaotic like that. And
even a clock comes twice a day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Pull yourself up by the skin of your teeth, man.
Immediately the boss comes off me. He's like, I'm sorry, Jacob, did you just say a clock comes twice a day? Like, I don't think you're allowed to say that in this meeting. Like,
but then you're like, no, man. I said, Hyrule is only as strong as your weakest link,
Yeah.
But like you change it every time. Like, there's got to be. I feel like it's like a key and Peele.
It'd be so hard. It'd be so hard for me to keep my face straight. On this.
Dude, that's I have such admiration for people who are able to keep that shit together when they're doing bits like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the live ones, like you see the sketch comedy shows where everything is
like
done
SNL.
like
SNL. I love when they break character. Yeah.
The problem with SNL is it's not funny. So that's why they don't laugh.
I will say the funniest bit I think that they've had in history was whenever the guy who like has Hillary Clinton tattooed to him on his ass. I forget his name.
I don't know that one.
He dated Kim Kardashian recently.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson, the extraordinarily hung Pete Davidson and Zac Efron when they had their little bit where they were like white rappers. Fucking hilarious.
The only thing I know recently was the Beavis and Butthead thing with Ryan Gosling.
That is fair. That one was also kind of funny.
Because it came out of nowhere and just took over.
Yeah, but that one was like skeet, skeet, skirt, skirt. And it's like him and Pete Davidson him and Zac Efron going back and forth.
Yeet, yeet, skirt, yeet, yeet, skirt, 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 roll up, yeet, drop that, yeet, skirt that, yeet, pop that, yeet, hey, 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 hey. You never loved me, mom.
Back and forth.
I don't.
I'm gonna insert it like right on your face so that people.
I don't know if I know that one.
You'll see.
Why would I know it? I don't watch our YouTube.
Yeah, you'll see it eventually. It'll get around to you.
Did you just roll your eyes at me?
Yeah, somebody's gonna make you see it.
Why would I watch it? The same reason why you wouldn't listen to the podcast.
I have to now. I have to listen to the pod now because I have to like go through the video and like
which is bullshit because it doesn't count for listen.
Yeah, it does count for click through time on my end. So,
Does it?
Yeah, because
not when you're putting it together though, right?
No, I mean I watch the actual videos to make sure it all looks good. Got to get at least one view, right? So.
Sweating like a horse in church, man.
That I would use that one a lot. Yeah.
Don't pull out all of your eggs in one basket without breaking a few.
I say don't pull out,
Yeah, that's how you end up with 2 kids' children. 2 kids' children. Now I'm losing.
You fucked your brain up, dude. You messed it up. Then you're not gonna be able to speak straight.
I've reverse engineered my brain in like 5 minutes.
Hot damn, my guy.
If you can't be handsome, at least be handy.
Okay. That's me.
That's terrible advice.
Nah, you at least be handy.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says handsy.
Oh, that's bad advice. Yeah.
That changes it.
Nah, if you're not handsome, I actually keep your hands to yourself, honestly. If you're handsome or not.
I guess the first one that really, because I see it now, Oh, that's not rocket surgery.
I've heard
Like
that one
people have been
before.
saying that
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah,
So that's okay.
all right.
I wish I could help you, but my tubes are tied.
That's giving off weird vibes. That's like they asked you to be a surrogate, and then like you're like, sorry, I can't. Like so.
I don't know if this is necessarily the one, but it's well. If it isn't the actions of my own consequences.
That sounds like something I would be saying in a mirror. It's like I get bad
Um,
news.
I'll just sit here twiddling my thumbs in my ass. So you're twiddling your thumbs, and I'll just sit here with my thumb up my ass. I've got a canary on my tongue.
It's the canary in the gift horse mouth, you know.
So those who live in glass houses make light work. Now we're just getting like
Yeah,
we're just getting.
I feel like you
weird.
just matched up stuff now at this point.
No,
It's
we're
like
just reading sentences.
it's like that. It's like that Pokemon thing that you can do online where you can like mash up Pokemon. Now you're just
Yeah.
mashing up sayings together.
The road to hell gets the grease. Let them have their cake and eat it too.
Okay.
Fool me once. Oh God, this is so you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, strike three.
You're out of
So
here,
is this-
baby. You're out of here, dude. Get out of here.
Oh my God, that's perfect for a meeting too. Like you don't even give someone two strikes. It's like strike three, you're out of here.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, strike three. Get out of here, dude. You're out of this. You're off this team.
Good things come to those with small packages.
Hey, buddy. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. You know?
I'm gonna throw the bus out from under me. Laughing my socks off. You mess with the bull and you get horny in a china shop. The greener the grass, the harder they fall.
The greener the grass, the harder they are. That's for sure. There's bulls in the china shop.
A wrinkle in time saves 9.
How
Now we're
many-
just
how
making
many-
rhymes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, how many of are these? It's like a million.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I guess you could just keep
Shit or
combining.
get off the bed.
That's an Always Sunny reference. So,
Yeah.
oh man,
There's like a bunch of stuff here.
you know what? You know what is kiss and a gift horse in the mouth? Is whenever somebody jumps the enclosures, and it's like, you know, that was a bad transition. Let me try it again. Recently, boy howdy. Oh man,
It's hard, isn't it?
I threw my whole the gift horse in the mouth thing. It threw me off. I'm just gonna have to start over. I'm just gonna I'm gonna call it.
All right,
here
ready?
and-
Take 2 and
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Speaking of natural selection, I think we should just let it happen. You know, especially like
Okay.
my case in point would be people who jump over enclosures in zoos. Now, this is barring children falling over, right? R.I.P. Harambe in that tragic situation. It's also barring. I think that children are stupid and they shouldn't be killed for their stupidity. So, like, if they jump over the fence like an idiot, like grab them, pull them back over, you know, try and save them, etc. But when you're 20,
Was that the moment that
What?
everything went to shit?
No, I
in the
really
world?
think that Steve Irwin dying was when it went to shit. But then when Harambe died and joined him, that too also broke another seal. Like I'm sure there's a whole like pictogram of like the seals that have been broken.
Pentagram?
Pictogram. That's the thing.
Pentagram?
It's probably a pentagram too. I just you put a point. You know, have a seal on each point, and you broke it open, and Satan is now here.
No, that's the 4 horsemen. Break the seals and the horsemen come.
Well, fucking tell him to go home. You know, take your ball and go home. You know, but I would say like yeah, Harambe dying is one of those seals. Steve Irwin dying, Betty White dying. Didn't somebody else die recently? That was like James Earl Jones. He passed away, R.I.P. But I don't know. Like he was fine. He was good in Star Wars. So right,
He wasn't in Star Wars.
He was the voice of Darth Vader in Star Wars, right?
But he's not in Star Wars.
That's you. Okay, pal. You're gonna make me upset here. All right. First of all, if you have the iconic,
Is he the man behind the mask?
They didn't let him. All right. You want to know why? Because I want to say this ties back into racism, right? They didn't want a strong, independent black man as Darth Vader. They just wanted his voice. So you telling me you're going to give this iconic hero the voice, the deep baritone voice of an African American man, and you're not going to put him in a suit?
Samoa Joe is Sweet Tooth in Twisted Metal, but he does not do the voice.
How fucked up is that, dude?
That's body shame, bro.
These white pieces of shit, dude. Always whitewashing everything.
And it's a white man's voice in Twisted Metal. Apparently, by the way, we'll get back to your enclosure thing, but apparently, so I think we talked about it, right, with Borderlands, but more specifically, I did not watch the trailer for Minecraft. By all accounts, it's a hot piece of shit. But like we've turned around from where like we were getting good video game adaptations, and we've circled the wagon again, and now we're just doing bad video game adaptations.
Quick caveat.
But apparently Twisted Metal is actually really good.
I haven't seen Twisted Metal. I'm sure that it's great.
It looked like shit, and I don't like Anthony Mackie, so
Anthony Mackie's fine to me. I don't give a shit about. Like
that's fine. I'm telling you, I don't like him. Same as Mark Wahlberg. Like,
okay, and that's fair. Like I like Mark Wahlberg. You hate Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Arguably, I highly enjoyed the Minecraft trailer. I'm happy that Jack Black's in it. I don't know what people expected. It's a fucking Minecraft movie, right?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be made. You're correct.
I mean, that is a fair point to be had. It doesn't need to be made, and doesn't need to be made in a realism style. I'm all for us not doing this dumb shit, make animation into real live action. Like, I hate it. It's not meant to be live action. Like, I would argue that Minecraft's not meant to be live action because it's a cuboid world. But
Sonic was.
Sonic is an exception to that rule.
Mario was not live action, but they did make a live action Mario that was terrible.
Yes. They actually. You say terrible. I found it quite good, and that's actually the original one they've actually seen. Yes.
With the
Goopa Troopers.
Leguizamo?
Goopa Troopers are terrifying. Because they remind me of like the Beetlejuice, the shrunk head guy from Beetlejuice, but just with like a Goopa on top.
I've heard that the new one is rough.
I have so many directions that I'm trying to go right now. I've got to focus because like I could sit here and talk all day about the fact that like why would you make the first Beetlejuice PG-13/PG and then pivot? I understand that like the adult audience, the audience that watched it originally,
it's made for the people that watched it originally.
Yeah,
yes.
Now adults, right? But like if you have little kids, like my son included, who just watched the original, then I have to explain to him like, oh, buddy, you can't see the next one, even though you really dug the first one because it's rated R, and I don't know what suggestive scenes are in it.
And they're leaning real hard into all that too because there's like toys and like the fucking merchandise is everywhere. Like it's all over the Halloween section, like everywhere. Beetlejuice is everywhere.
Yeah, don't say it again.
Yeah, right. And then he'll like appear, like right up here.
He's just hanging out in the moon, like, hey, let's go. I do think that Michael Keaton, perfect actor for that. I didn't understand that Beetlejuice was I just said it. He's actually the bad guy.
Hey, how you doing?
I didn't.
Sandworm.
That's actually a really good impression. I think that like, I could probably superimpose like his face over yours and be like, wow,
do a Snapchat filter.
Yeah,
there's some better go here.
But honestly, I didn't realize he was the bad guy. I thought it was like one of those anti-hero movies where like, but going back and watching it, I mean, yeah, you
could debate that he's a good guy, bad guy, but yeah, I mean, but from what I understand, it is rough.
I probably won't watch.
Now there's a new name for those kind of movies now. Did you know that?
No, what is it?
They're called legacy sequels.
Oh, okay. Well,
they're not just sequels. They're called legacy sequels because like that is a new trend to make fucking sequels to 30, 40-year-old movies.
Hey, it gave us Incredibles 2. I'm fine with it.
That's not a legacy sequel. But we're getting
10 years old. What are you talking about? Like,
it's not a legacy sequel.
How old do you have to be? The movie had to be a legacy
I think that's a good question. And I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, hey, yeah, look at us asking questions.
But I believe a decade would not be considered. I mean, we're talking a movie that came out before we were alive got a sequel when we are adults. Like that's a gigantic time.
Yeah.
Top Gun, legacy sequel. Maverick, like that's like 30 years, right?
Didn't need it, but yeah.
I mean, apparently it's really good, but like I didn't give a shit. So
they fly planes. Who gives a shit? Like I'm sorry. If you like flying planes, okay, cool for you. Go watch the movie. But like I don't give a shit.
If you like flying planes, why don't you go play Flight Simulator?
Isn't that Tom Cruise? Isn't Tom Cruise in the? Yeah, fuck that guy. I hate him. So
why? Because he's Scientologist.
Well, yeah, that and like that I don't. let's not talk about that.
Tell me about this enclosure. I just got really dark real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you clicked off of the page or something. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Natural selection is okay. So
enclosures.
I don't believe that if you're a 24-year-old lady jumping into enclosures to taunt the animals that are arguably slow and fat now because they're in enclosures, I don't think that we're taunting. I don't think that you should be rescued. I think that like you have the opportunity to get out of there and rescue yourself, but then go to the authorities and get arrested, which I think she has been. But I don't think that there should be a full-on effort to rescue you whatsoever. I think that you're on your own. There's giant barriers for a reason. There's signs all around for a reason. They're in the enclosure for a reason. I think that if you think it's funny for your friends, you're drinking, you're having a good time at the zoo, and you think, hey guys, let me go punch this kangaroo in the face, I think that you get the 350-pound kick to the chest, stomped on the face. I think that all comes your way, and I think that like we just come in, clean up the remains. We don't even like censor it. We don't even usher people away. We just like say, hey people, this is what happens when you jump into one of the zoo enclosures. You just let that, it kind of adds a spice of life to the zoo. But that's just my take on it. I think that like if we were gonna ever let natural selection happen, it would be my candidate would be jumping into the enclosure of a tiger, of a Bengal tiger. So,
okay. I mean, yeah. I don't necessarily think I disagree.
But not to bury the lead here, all right, which I already have. There was a woman charged after allegedly caught on. Okay, how are you going to say allegedly when it was very clear that she was caught on video climbing into the New Jersey Zoo enclosure and enticing a tiger? She's basically taunting this tiger. If I'm not mistaken, like the video shows her like trying to punk out the tiger. Like it's just like I think it tried to bite her.
And find out.
It tried to bite her, but then she was like, she got nipped at and she bolted. She was out of there. So, but it's just like, fucking hell, guys. Come on. I don't know, man. I just.
Don't fuck with animals.
Yeah. In the wild.
Whether it's in a zoo or especially in the wild.
Yeah. Don't feed the bears. That's not good for the bears, first off. But second off, like, they're not friendly creatures. And then it's like every times a year that we hear like, oh, there was a tragic accident where like a lady was trying to feed a bear and getting a selfie with it, and it just like mauled her face and ate her tits off or something, or like guy got his dick ripped off by a bear, like
there's the thing with like bison and moose, like don't fuck with a moose, dude.
I won't fuck with one, but if I'm in a car, I'm definitely gonna hit it. If it tries to hit me, I'm gonna hit it back.
I've seen videos where people straight up hit it and it just like gets right back up.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna be fine. But I'm just saying, like, you come at me, I'm gonna come at you full force. You started it, kind of thing.
The definition. Okay, are you done with your story?
Oh yeah, you good. I was just natural selection. That's all.
The definition of a legacy sequel is a film that follows the continuity of the original movie or movies, but takes place further along the timeline and focuses on new characters while the original ones are still present in the plot.
Okay. So by that definition as well, Incredibles 2 would not be a legacy sequel because that's about the original characters.
It is a direct sequel, correct. Yeah. So I thought it was more of a time frame difference, but it seems to be a time frame difference in the universe where like Gladiator 2 is a legacy sequel.
The new Ghostbusters.
Legacy sequel.
Yeah, because it takes place and it's the kids of the original somebody in that movie. I haven't seen that one either, but it's got the kids from Stranger Things in it, so that's cool.
Tron Legacy, I guess.
Okay.
Some of these are dumb. They're saying like King Kong and its sequel, King Son of Kong, but I mean maybe.
I guess. Although I keep saying
Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay. Furiosa.
But I think
Furiosa would be the one that's like
that's a spinoff. Because Max is not in it.
It's such a weird area because it's like
so Fury Road is almost a reboot, not necessarily a sequel, because Tom Hardy is Max, and so was Mel Gibson. So it's like that's a weird one. I don't count that one. I mean, I wouldn't count it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm looking through some of these, and I can't. None of these.
Okay, read them off. Read them off. What do we got? Give me one.
The first one that comes to mind is the Bible.
like the whole ass Bible. Or like the movie. Is our movie called The
Um,
Bible?
I guess there's a Born Legacy. Like there was that one with Jeremy Renner.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad that they turned around and cast Matt Damon in the next one.
Yeah,
So like
they're like, we got to bring back the original. Like it's. But then again, I think they had to because he ran himself over with his jet ski or his snowmobile. So
so there's Blade Runner 2049,
okay.
the most recent Jurassic World
Ah, that does make
with
sense.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt.
Okay, that fits in this one. Yeah. It is a legacy.
Creed is a legacy sequel, but I guess yeah.
The
I mean, it would
Crow. Would
fit.
you say that? Like, I haven't seen the new Crow, but
No, you want to talk about like what a
bad.
terrible.
Is
Oh,
it? Is it
apparently it
bad?
is a heaping pile of shit.
I think that most people could have guessed that because it feels like it's a movie that does. Again, it's a movie
Number
that
one.
doesn't mean
Okay, here we
anything.
go. Number one on IMDb is Top Gun Maverick.
Get the fuck out.
Cobra Kai,
Okay,
number two. Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't
there it
count
is.
Star Wars. Star Wars is a saga. Like I don't count Star Wars.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I agree with you on that one.
They're putting Matrix Resurrections on here.
Is it most of the
Uh,
original cast in it though? Like I feel like
yeah,
Neo is
that's
still Neo. He's still
some of these
Keanu Reeves.
based on that definition. No.
I feel like they're grasping at straws. Yeah, I feel like they're trying to make this
So there
genre a
was
thing. And they're grasping at
Jason
straws.
Bourne, right? So there was like Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Identity,
Yeah,
Bourne Supremacy. Then there was whatever the Bourne, I guess it was Ascendancy or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Ascendancy was a Trivium album. I don't know. And then just straight Jason Bourne. But I thought it was like a prequel. I don't know. Uh, there's Terminator Genesis. Which one was that one? Is that the one with Christian Bale or is that Dark Fate?
Wait, there was another Terminator movie? Like was that recently?
There's okay, so there's Terminator, there's T2,
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal films. There's
T3.
T3 with the
Okay.
chick, and then it
Okay.
goes off the rails. Christian Bale was in one, and then there's Dark Fate. No, there's Genesis, and then there's Dark Fate, and one of them has Arnold in it, and then
It sounds like what they did with the
CG is
Resident.
like really bad in another one.
It's like what they did with the Resident Evil movies, where like it's off the rails.
Would the fourth Indiana Jones movie with Shia LaBeouf be one?
Is it? Isn't there a new one coming out?
That already came out.
Oh
Came and went.
shit! I didn't even hear
It's on
about it.
Disney Plus, I think.
Isn't there a new? There's a new game coming out, right? That's the game is what I'm thinking
Game.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Doctor Sleep. That's another one. Doctor Sleep. So it's
Oh,
following The Shining.
yeah.
Yeah. So like
Oh, spooky
some of
season's
these are
coming up. I
just
gotta start watching scary movies again, man. I've been
yeah.
building a list on like HBO or whatever of the scary movies that I've been wanting to see.
I see a bunch of stuff on. Oh, that was weird. I see a bunch of like stuff on Instagram randomly. It'll be like, oh, this week's hottest indie horror films, and I
Nope.
always want to send them to you.
No,
What?
I don't fall in for that shit anymore because they did that to me with a skin. Shouts out to last year. I watched that stupid fucking Skinamarink movie. How everybody on fucking TikTok was like, "This is the scariest shit. This is the scariest shit I've ever seen. I fucking shit my pants. I came all over myself. I mixed the cum and the shit together, and it blew my mind. It was so scary." And I watched that piece of shit movie, and it was just a bunch of horrible shots that hurt my eyes, and a bunch of scary sounds, and it was like a bunch of like artsy like, what happened to the kid? And it was, oh
Bro,
my
you just
god,
didn't
dude.
get it. You
No,
just
dude,
didn't
I
get it.
fucking got it. I fucking got how everybody got grifted for this stupid fucking movie, and they got shit all over because they were like, this is, and they had to go and promote it because like they were scared for no reason because it wasn't a scary movie at all. It was. I'm gonna go on record and say, it was the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. Fuck you, Skinamarink. Get the fuck out of here. I said that directly to the camera so they know just
I'm
how
pretty sure you said that
shitty
last year
movie.
too.
I say it all over
What?
again.
Okay, so what makes a good scary movie for you? We'll wrap it up here in a minute. But what makes a good scary movie for you?
It definitely got to have suspense. I think that every scary movie has to have suspense. Like my ideal scary movie would be Paranormal Activity, the original. I think that like it doesn't have to be high budget, it doesn't have to be low budget, but it has to have suspense.
It has to be budget,
Has to be budget. It has to
not enterprise budget.
it has to subvert my reality to the point where like I can see myself in the situation and I could see it
So it
happening
has
to
to be
me.
believable.
Has to be semi believable. It doesn't have to. I mean, you can still have a scary movie with fucking aliens that one that recently came out that I told you guys about. Everybody hated, but I enjoyed it. It was an alien movie or whatever. But it's like I can't. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it somewhere. But it was like about alien invasion. It was one of the Gen Z alien movies, but they come down and like the whole town takes over. Spoiler alert.
The Nope or whatever.
Nope was really good, but not that one. But Nope was another good example of like suspense, where it's like you have this.
Or it was the
building-
Jordan Peele movie, is the one you're talking about, right?
No, this was different because it was on a Hulu. It was a Hulu original, and it was like I fucking can't remember the name of it, but it's the chick is in a house that she got gifted, I think, to her, and like the aliens come down and like it's a whole thing. But Nope was really good. And it's a really good example of like that suspense, like where you're building to a climax.
Watcher, Us,
What is it?
House of Darkness, False Positive.
No, it's gonna bug me too, and I can't fucking remember it. Hulu.
When did it come out?
Original, like 2 years ago. Original
Watcher.
alien movie. Hold on, I'll tell you. No One Will Save You. It's called No One Will Save You.
Okay, that was last year.
It came out September. I think September 5th, 2023 is when this was posted on YouTube. So around that time.
So a year ago.
Yeah, fucking great. It's about building suspense to me. It's about suspension of disbelief. It's about making me feel like this scenario is going to affect me personally, give me anxiety.
Makes you forget you're watching a movie.
Make me forget I'm watching a movie. That's why I think shouts out Frederick. He was talking about my take on slasher films or whatever, and I was just like, they just don't scare me because it's like they're too focused on the blood and the gore and the way they.
But they're
kill
not
people,
supposed to scare you.
Then why are you making them? You know, like what's the point of?
Why do they make Saw?
Exactly. Like Saw, I feel like is probably scarier than a slasher film, right? But would you consider Saw a slasher film? I don't even.
It's gore porn.
Yeah, gore porn is what I'm trying to think of. And it's like
Hostel's another one.
And hey, maybe that is. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not because it's not for me. But like, if you're wanting to scare me individually, like it's like you got to give me a boogeyman, and you got to make me believe the boogeyman is real, and he's gonna come for me, and he's gonna come for my kids, and I got to get out of the state. I got to get north to Canada.
My retort to like scary stuff. It's like, well, how are you not into scary movies? And it's like, because I live in the real world and it's scary enough. I don't.
Now you give me a good scary ghost movie.
Now, like
that needs
shit,
more,
and that's the thing. Like I'm like horror adjacent. Like I like creepy stuff. Like I'm not a big Resident Evil guy. I'm not a Silent Hill guy. I'm not like, but like I fucking love Dead Space. Like I fucking love it to death.
Yeah.
And why? Because it's believable.
I think horror fits the game world the best. Right?
Yeah, but horror in space works because you can get away with things that you can't get away with like on Earth. Like, oh, there's a scary man chasing me. Oh, there's zombies. Like, and zombies are done to death, right?
Yeah.
So, there's gonna be a zombie around the corner.
But it's like having that threat of space as well as like, oh fuck, an alien.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
that's the added.
The claustrophobia
and the environment.
Almost. Like it's almost
absolutely.
that claustrophobia.
And I have claustrophobia. Yeah. So like Alien is terrifying. Like the first time I watched Alien, the first one, fucking terrified. Like terrified me more than any movie.
Sound design on the original Alien, I think all of them are really good, but like sound design, fucking goddamn so good, man.
Yeah. I know like most people don't like it, but I remember it maybe just hit me at the right time. There was that one movie we joked about, we were talking about it today, the calls coming from inside the house. What was that called?
Scream? Is it? No.
No, there was the one where like the girl's like babysitting a house and she's in like this cabin. And
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it. Yeah,
and
that
like,
one's like
it came out in like the mid 2000s. But again, like that's a situation that's real. Like you're home alone and someone's stalking you. Like that shit's real. Another one that I think is sort of polarizing or that most people don't like. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying any of these things are good or whatever. And I don't give a shit one way or the other. But I remember The Strangers also being that movie. I was just like, oh, like this is believable. Like a fucking three psychopaths wearing burlap mask and fucking terrorizing people. Like, yeah, that's believable to me. But like Freddy Krueger.
The Visit was another one that was like, that at first it had suspense, but then it was like that idea of like, yeah, like because people are crazy, like and it's like spoiler alert, the bad guy in The Visit was dementia, so.
He was speaking in reverse idioms, and sayings.
But
Malaphorensic.
Shit, you let me lose it. The Scream movies were the first one I remember watching, way too young probably, but like it was actually pretty scary. It wasn't so much slasher as it was like there was a scarier aspect to it of like this guy like coming up behind you and like scaring the shit out of you. And even I haven't watched the original Freddy Krueger movie and like the original Jason, but I think that those movies in themselves just kind of fucking lost their way as far as like maybe not lost their way for they just lost me.
They have a very, very loud
huge following,
fan base, but I don't necessarily think that they are popular. I think they're popular by proxy of existing. It's one of those things where like you say Friday the 13th, people know what you're talking about. This episode comes out on Friday the 13th. Like people understand.
You're not supposed to bring attention to it. Stop it. You're gonna bring the bad luck to us.
Bought my house on Friday the 13th.
That's crazy. It'd be even crazier if you paid it off on the Friday the 13th. That'd be insane, dude.
But I don't know. I mean, it's all, it's all personal preference, but I'm with you. I prefer, like we were talking about, like horror adjacent. Like Control is not scary, but it's unsettling.
This is suspense.
And it's creepy, and the sound design is helps a lot with that. But like uncomfortableness is what I crave in that sort of stuff. Like again, like I don't need jump scares. Whatever. Like that loses its appeal after like the first time.
That's the thing too. You can't be heavy with the jump scares. Like that's it gets very boring very quickly. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I agree with what you're saying, but like I remember like Prey, like the good Prey, the one, not the movie Prey, the game Prey that I like that from Arcane was also that way where it was you're on a spaceship again, and the added addition of mimics being everywhere where you didn't know if that fucking lamp was going to attack you. Now, sure, obviously by the end, you're just like...
You just kill everything. You just shoot everything and make sure that it's not going to come out.
But you also have more powers at the end too. So like, but that in itself, like the uneasiness of walking through a corridor and it's just like, what's going to get me? So, but space and horror, there was the one movie, was it... Oh my God, what's the name of the fucking famous moon for Jupiter?
Saturn, Europa. There's Europa.
Europa. So there's a horror movie called Europa where, again, in space, and they go, but then they finally land on it, and like there's this. I mean, the movie's been out a lot. There's a fucking. I think the planet, the moon itself was the creature.
That's cool. I like that. That one movie, the movie about the moon, about the landing on the moon. I think it was like Apollo 13 or something like that, where they land on them. They land
found footage one.
They land on the. I love found footage, man. I am just a little
sucker.
goblin, a little sucker goblin for a found footage film. Like Clover.
Did you ever watch Troll Hunter?
I fucking need to. It's on. I think it's on HBO now.
No, it's a foreign film, so you have to read it.
I find with foreign films. I love. There's one recently on Netflix. I fucking forget the name.
I let you borrow Troll Hunter, and you never watched it.
I think I gave it back to you. I think hopefully. You did give it back. Good, because I was so worried about that. I saw it on HBO, and I was like, I really hope I gave that back to him because I have no idea where it is.
Yeah. So, did you? This is turning into a whole thing. This should have been a Halloween episode. I know that we mentioned it, but real quickly, did you ever like fuck around with marble hornets?
Yeah. Oh, bro, you gotta open up a whole other can, my guy. Like this was peak.
You just got so happy.
This was peak internet. This was when YouTube was good. Okay, I'll say it. Like this. Okay, for those of you who don't know out in the audience, right? Marble hornets was what I equate to making everybody believe in Slender Man. It's a series.
That's the first time I had heard of Slender Man.
I think that I had heard of Slender Man, but it wasn't until somebody had later on like, have you seen the Marble Hornets thing? And it was like, it then furthered my belief that Slender Man is real and is probably just chasing after all of us children. So if you are a child listening to this, first of all, stop. But second of all, Slender Man is going to come and get you eventually. It just happens to all of us, buddy. It just happens to all of us. But for those of you who don't know, Marble Hornets is a series of videos that were done. They were put up on YouTube. I don't know who the creator is. Maybe I'll put them over here somewhere. But they're probably still up on YouTube, I would guess. But it was like what do you call those? Like the sequence of events, like like an anthology of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It was he's in his character in the video, as well as like real life, is like he's making a film. He's a filmographer, so to speak, and he's documenting.
I thought he found a bunch of stuff.
He might have been, but he might have. I don't even remember the exact thing, but essentially, like the point of view is the person that's filming the everything going on is like making a film with another person, and like every video, I think they're like a couple of minutes long, but every video,
some of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, some of them are like I think a few seconds long, if I'm not mistaken. Some of them are like just a few seconds, but like every video, you kind of like get tidbits of essentially lore, and like a Slender Man keeps getting closer and closer. But like this shit had so many teenage kids scared for their life and or pranking other kids, because like it was the peak of YouTube was just for videos, and you would
it was an ARG. Is that what you were thinking?
An ARG, yeah. I'm thinking about like what the chronological like series of events or whatever it would be considered, like, because you had to watch them in a certain order, and of course they were all named something a little bit weird, you know, to kind of give you like give you feeling of like oh, this is like, you know, this is tape 1, and then you skip to like tape 6, and like some more stuff has happened or whatever. I think there's one point that I remember that really vividly is that he's like waking up in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m. I think is what it was. And he cuts to like him frantically looking out the window, and like I think as soon as he like peeks through the window, you just see a white mask, and like I remember that about pissing myself, dude. Like it's just, oh man, you're bringing out so many like great memories.
Did you ever watch the movie?
No,
because it was called bad. Yeah, it's called Always Watching, based off the Marble Hornets story.
Yeah, it was. It's a tragedy, honestly. But
yeah, the critical reception for Always Watching was predominantly negative.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like it's one of those that should have just remained a YouTube hole that you dove down, and it's like I understand.
There's got to be a payoff.
See, but that's the thing, man. It's like that was back.
Or does there? I don't know.
That was back whenever like people just put stuff on YouTube to like be really cryptic or whatever. Like there's still like, little pockets of YouTube that you can go to and find stuff that is like super cryptic rather, not cryptids. There's a bunch of cryptids on YouTube, but not a lot of them are real. But
everything's algorithm based though.
Yeah, and again, if we want to talk about like, yeah, YouTube has gotten a little bit corporate, all right? You'd probably be in the middle of watching this cryptic video about how like it's like radio, what is that one thing, signal stations or whatever, and then all of a sudden like they pause the signal station and like they're like, and this is an ad for Taco Bell, like yeah,
Cialis.
Here's your Cialis medication. Make sure, guys, if you ever want a rock hard boner, dude, yeah, for sure, sign up for Cialis today, you know, and then he cut back to like the scary stuff and kind of takes you out of it. But man, what a fun walk! This is like what a fun walk down memory lane this episode has been. Really, you know, like we went everywhere, man. We talked about like traumatic childhood experiences of watching a bunch of people die live on television. We talked about
watching people re-enter the atmosphere, blowing up.
Dude, yeah. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube. Check out that Russian woman who also suffered the same fate as the astronauts, but they recorded the whole thing. Not video feed, it's just an audio feed, but it's pretty. You're not going to survive a whole lot after that, man. That's a rough listen for sure. But luckily, she's speaking a different language, and like the only time
we didn't even talk about her, but I guess we're talking about her now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only time you really like start understanding what's going on is whenever she starts bursting into like very loud, painful screams because she's literally burning alive into the atmosphere. But hey, this should have been a Halloween episode. Maybe we should just pocket this one for Halloween. Is what I'm saying. You know,
we can do it. It's fine. We'll just do like 2 weeks. I mean, I've already put up my Halloween decorations, so it doesn't matter.
2 full weeks, 3 full weeks, 4 weeks of just fucking Halloweeny, baby. Just a whole
Halloweeny. Yeah, I mean, my decorations are up. It's what, September 11th. I put them up over the weekend, so
30 days an episode. Yeah, I do say right there. Oh man, that's good. I'm gonna keep that in the video. I'm gonna keep all this. You got anything you want to say? Anything to YouTube before everybody like we leave? You know, I would never record like an outro. I did it twice and it ended up horrible, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, I did 2 outros. Not that you would know. Okay, not that you would know. I need to start doing an intro before the video, and then be like, that's when I plug everything that we're doing. But I never think about it, you know.
Do you ever write a summary with timestamps?
Fucking, you gonna give me more work to do, dude? You want to go ahead and slap some more work my way?